The movie is starting!
Woo!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another of the Movie is Starting podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah.
I'm your other host, Chris.
And today we are joined by...
Moandain, from the Moandain Designs YouTube channel. And I also play as Marcus in a certain D&D campaign.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, it's called, it might be something called Tides of Flame that I stream on my Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/TheOldAssRetroGamer. Check it out. Anyway.
You whore.
I'm a steelbook
I mean, you
slut.
don't hear me talking about Ash's comic book, which you can find at Challenge Comic Books. So what movie did you pick for us today?
1994, The Crow. It's
Oh, God.
James O'Barr, directed by Alex Proyas. I really liked Brandon Lee as an actor. I was a fan of his father. And I became a fan of his with like Showdown in Little Tokyo and stuff like that. And unfortunately, Rapid Fire and what Laser Mission?
Laser Mission with Ernest Borgnine.
So
there is a great Riff Tracks version of that if you can ever find it.
God.
You know, I really enjoyed the movie. I actually saw it in the theaters and stuff.
I as well.
And it's just like an editing masterpiece. Like I was kind of drawn to it because of like the Gothic theme and stuff like that. And, you know, the idea that, you know, love conquers all, even death, and a few other things. But like, as I got older, I started to slowly understand how much editing went into this movie and how this movie shouldn't have happened with, you know, the tragedy that fell, you know, on the film and stuff like that. And I've worked with people who teach media film studies, and they hold this up as a masterpiece of editing, where they just saved an entire film when no one else probably could have.
It's one of the things you look at it and you realize how much of the movie he's not in. Too, like if you really start watching it and noticing,
there's a lot of shots where he's in the shadow, or like you just see parts of his body that aren't his face.
Yeah, there are certain parts where Chad Stahelski is wearing a prosthetic Brandon Lee mask.
That guy directs the John Wick movies now.
Yeah, this is one of those movies that, like you said, like I saw this in the theater too. I was way young. I should not have
seen it at that age. Yep.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I remember it being a big deal in that my brother, who was 17, was trying to take me in to go see it. The movie theater would not let us in, and because I think you had to be like 25 or 21 to buy multiple tickets. Yeah. I remember my dad showing up. Like we went home and told my dad. And then he all right. And then he drove us back out to the movie theater and said, "Hey, let my kids see this movie." Demanded they let us in. I think we came in right as they're hauling Shelley into the ambulance. But no, like this was a movie that was huge for me. Loved it as a kid. I remember, and then I remember whenever it came out on video, probably at least once every other week. Whenever I'd be over at my dad's, we would probably be watching this. And yeah, and it's just like the tragedy that befell Brandon Lee in this, and it's sad because you watch this and you know he would have been set. The Wachowskis even admitted that Neo was originally written for him.
Oh wow!
And think about all. I mean, that's one of the things too. Is think about all the roles that he probably like John Wick probably would have been him. Neo definitely would have been him. And you even think about people in the Marvel universe, they probably would have had him as Shang-Chi or something like that if they would have made it earlier.
He's playing his dad.
Yeah, exactly. but no, his career would have skyrocketed after this movie, and it's just tragic that unfortunately, and this is also you're talking about how it's a lesson in editing. It's also a lesson in
gun safety.
Yeah, gun safety, and then also just making sure everybody's union, because that was one of the things too that the horrible person who
Harvey
the Weinsteins, the Weinsteins were kind of not really financing it as it should have been, and then unfortunately it took his death for Proyas to step forward and see guys, this is the stuff I was trying to warn you against. And then they gave him all the money in the world after that.
Yeah, I had the opposite story because this came out the year after I graduated high school.
Yeah.
So I walked right into that theater and sat down and watched it twice. I just thought it was cool that we were getting an indie comic character movie, because we weren't getting a lot of comic book films that weren't Superman or Batman at that point in time.
This was 94. Batman was 89.
Batman Returns was the last
and that was
superhero movie that had come out, because the next year was when Batman Forever came out.
Yeah.
but like we really didn't have like the glut that we do right now. So it was really cool to see something like this, and it was a lesser known comic.
Yeah,
a couple of my friends knew about it and knew who J.O. Barr was. I didn't.
Yeah, because it was a kitchen sink comic book, which was indie press. I think originally it was Caliber, then eventually it got picked up by Kitchen Sink.
So I had no preconceptions going in as to what it was going to be. Just what the trailer had told me, and I was like, well, you know what? That looks kind of cool.
Yeah,
so
exactly. No,
let's do this. And I liked it so much. Kind of got me into, I want to say it was like one of the starts where I got into industrial music, because I really liked My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult song that they play over that shootout scene, and that kind of got me into industrial music a little bit. And it was another one of those movies that kind of made me want to make movies and stuff like that, because for a movie that was that dark, you could still see every goddamn thing. It was like it started getting me interested in lighting setups and shit. Until I saw it at the drive-in, you couldn't see anything. It was just like watching a dark screen, and every once in a while you would see like this clown face go by.
And I mean, to be honest, it's like had I never seen this movie, I would have never probably written Ashes, because I took heavily, and later on, more so even now, I'd say the comic, but I would not have even really been interested in reading the comic had I not seen this movie first. By
the way, Jeremiah makes a comic book called Ashes.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I don't like to brag about my comic book called Ashes. Issue 3 coming soon. But no, there's a lot of similarities. In fact, like, for a while, when I was first kind of pitching it to people, I used The Crow as an example. Like I said, it's a great story. It's it's revenge, it's love, it
just makes me wonder if it would have actually been successful if
had he not die. Yeah,
but we'll never know.
Well, and because I know they had a completely different idea of how to present it. Like a lot of the stuff that is flashback was not going to be flashback in the original idea.
I mean, Michael Berryman across the board, he got cut.
Oh, the skull.
Oh yeah,
Skull Cowboy.
Yeah.
Michael Berryman was the Skull. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah,
he was the Skull Cowboy.
I was watching Good Bad Flicks on YouTube, and he did a retrospective on the Crow City of Angels, and he started off talking about this and how like the Weinsteins were notorious for like getting their grubby little fingers on their movies that they were producing and like just hacking them up without the director's permission and shit like
Mimic that. Is another example of that one. Yeah.
Luckily, I had the director's cut of that.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how they cut the Skull Cowboy out of this one. And he was wondering what it would have been, what the movie would have been like if they left him in.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, like, this is what a lot of people have categorized as a cursed film, because even aside from the Brandon Lee thing, Brandon Lee's tragic death. One of the, I think it was a crew member who was driving a cherry picker. He was driving it off set, and I forget if the cherry picker was already up, or if while he was driving it, it had engaged and extended. It hit a power line, and the guy driving the cherry picker got electrocuted and got third-degree burns. Then, of course, there is, if you really look at the story behind how a live gun ended up on set, is also like it's literally just a lesson in a series of unfortunate events. And God, you got to feel bad for Michael Massey, because that dude was haunted by that.
He was in movies for a while afterwards.
Yeah, he was haunted by that. I mean, he I think died of cancer like 10 years ago, but I saw him at C2E2 when they had Ernie Hudson, Tony Todd, and him, and yeah, that dude just seemed messed up. Like, there was a panel where they were kind of talking about just all that, the experience on The Crow, and yeah, he did not seem all there. The Lee family actually sued him too, and it's like, the fuck, he didn't have anything to do with it.
Like somebody put that gun in his hand.
Yeah, exactly. It's surrounded in tragedy, but still a damn fine movie, I feel.
And then horrible sequels.
Yeah.
And I've heard other theories, instead of the movie being cursed, that it was the Lee family curse.
Yeah, there's also
that got him.
And they kind of set that up in the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
At the very end, they kind of hint at it a little bit. It's like Bruce Lee was getting those like visions of him dying. And then there's that last one where he sees Brandon standing there like in his vision. And it's kind of like, are you serious?
The monsters go, yeah. Well, granted, production had finished before, it's just...
It's a great movie. I absolutely love it. I love all of the music in it. I love how the music basically helps the transition of the movie.
Yeah. Well, and I remember the soundtrack being widely successful too. Like, I mean, I own it, and I remember buying it.
I will say that at the time that this came out, and I was still working at Kmart, and we had, I was in the electronics section. We had all the car radios, and we usually were playing the radio. The amount of times I had to hear Stone Temple Pilots, I wanted to fucking rip Scott Weiland's tongue out. Oh my God. I love that song when I first heard it, but when you hear it 5,000 times in the space of 2 months, I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of over this.
I mean, there were a lot of bands that got popular from being on, like Rage Against the Machine. That was like one of the first things that they were
Rollins
on.
band.
Yeah, Rollins was in there.
Like I learned about
Mary
my life with the
Chain.
Thrill Kill Cult. I learned about them through that. 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, Trent Reznor's like crowd surfing in the movie.
Yeah. It's nuts the amount of like talent that is on that soundtrack. You know, and then a lot of them weren't big yet. Like
Violent
really
Femmes is on there. Yeah.
Like Downward Spiral hadn't been released yet. That was a demo version of that song that ended up being on the B side of some single from Nine Inch Nails. But anyway, we got a movie to watch.
Yeah, let's
I
as
guess.
fun as it is talking about this, let's actually enjoy the movie.
We are watching a Blu-ray copy. I'm not sure what Moandain is watching. Blu-ray also?
Blu-ray, yeah.
Okay, it is also streaming on Pluto TV, and you can rent it on Amazon for pretty cheap. But if you don't own this in your collection, what's wrong with you? Come on, man.
Or at least read the graphic novel, for crying out loud. Come on.
I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Come on. So we have the movie queued up before the Miramax logo begins, or the logo sequence begins, and we are pressing play now.
We're going across the sea, and there's the Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, my God.
Oh my God! Stallone is underneath trying to fix the Brooklyn tunnel.
No, I mean I gotta figure out we're in the Lincoln Tunnel, you know.
I hated that movie. Same guy who directed Dragon, the Bruce Lee story,
and Fast and Furious,
and Mummy 3.
Ugh.
Why? Now you know why
people want money.
Yeah. Now you know why. Brendan Fraser disappeared from Hollywood.
Well, there's the subtle hints that they never actually say, but this is supposed to be Detroit. Yeah. Because Devil's Night is
I love the score in this movie, too. The score by Graham Revell is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And the cool thing I will say about him when it comes to the sequels is he never tried to repeat himself. Because he was like, well, the character, the music is geared toward Eric Draven. Yeah. So in each movie that they brought him back for, he came up with a new theme, which is good instead of just rehashing the same shit.
Now the funny thing about the legend that the girl that Shelley is telling right now, it's not a crow. The Native American legend is actually a sparrow. Yeah,
the sparrow doesn't quite have the same.
It doesn't have that grip. Oh, there's Ernie Hudson.
I met him at Midwest Gaming Classic. Nicest guy.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my buddy Jason. My buddy Jason's a huge Ghostbusters fan, Corpse Flood Gaming. And Ernie Hudson was at the Midwest Gaming Classic we were all at, so he brought a bunch of stuff for him to sign. And I thought I'll be a good friend. I'll stand with him in line because our other buddy Church didn't want to go and hang out. So I was standing in line with Jason to get all these. He had like 3 things that he wanted to autograph, and then we find out while we're in line that you can only get 1 autograph per person because the convention was paying for Ernie Hudson to sign. You weren't paying.
Yeah.
So they limited it to 1 so people were just bringing like handfuls of things to sell on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was like, give me 1. I didn't have anything to get signed. So I was like, give me 1 of your things and I'll get it signed for you. And then also came with a picture. So we get up there and Jason gets his thing signed and he's like, immediately, can I get a picture with you? And Ernie Hudson's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Gets up, get a picture. He sees me standing there and I'm having something autographed for Jason. And he goes, you want a picture? I was like, sure.
Okay.
So I got a picture with him, and then he saw that me and Jason were in line together. And he goes, "You 2 want to get a picture with me too?" And we're like, "Sure."
See, I've got some friends around here. There's a Bama Geeks podcast, and they run the charitable organization that is the Alabama Ghostbusters, and they say he's like a really nice person as well.
He is.
Oh yeah, no.
I met him at Wizard World back in the day when I was hanging out with Zach.
It's a terrible show.
Terrible. In the Ghostbusters game. I was like, why did you tell him to say it like that? That is so dumb. But anyway, we when I was hanging out with Zach, the morbidly obese Ghostbuster, and they wanted to get he was in this Ghostbusters troupe. Ernie Hudson was at the convention. That was the year that I was filming everything for the web series with you. But it was the day before, and I happened to have my camera with because I was just trying to get B-roll shit. And they were like, hey, can you film us talking to Ernie Hudson? Like the whole Ghostbusters troupe. Can you get us talking to Ernie Hudson? Yeah, sure. And then this guy, Ryan Kemp, who was from Kentucky.
Yeah.
I think he was part of the Kentucky Ghostbusters. he was there, and he was like, he had Ernie Hudson say this whole spiel that he says for his group, and it's like, if you ain't busting, you ain't hustling or something. It was. I felt bad for Ernie Hudson having to say this, but I filmed him saying it and all that, and then like 3 years later, that guy Ryan died. He got hit. He got hit by a car.
Oh.
R.I.P. Ryan Kemp. He was a real nice guy too. Yeah. But Ernie Hudson, the way that we were getting talked to by the people at Wizard World that year, and we were trying to get them on camera and all that. He was the opposite. He was like, he'll do anything. He was just really nice. Anyway,
I'll never forget at the last C2E2, like I said, the one where it was him, Tony Todd, and Michael Massey. It was hilarious. I remember somebody coming up to the microphone because before they came on, there was the guy who was sort of like the MC goes, now, before they come out here, now there's certain things that we're not gonna even acknowledge if you guys try to ask. It's like, do not ask about Ghostbusters 3 at that time. Ghostbusters 3. Don't ask about, and he goes, and especially don't be an ass. He's like, don't be an asshole and don't bring up the shooting. It was that. Yeah, and so anyhow,
especially if Massey was gonna.
Yeah, exactly. But no, so somebody got up. They asked Ernie Hudson a question, and they go, I think, we're all kind of waiting for that big sequel. When we get in a sequel to Congo? It was great.
I saw that movie twice in the theater before I realized how shitty it was. First time I saw it, I was like, wow, it's like Ernie, but better.
Ernie Hudson laughed his ass off whenever he was.
That's what I imagine. Yeah, I remember seeing Congo, and I was like, that was like Jurassic Park, but better. And then I saw it the second time, and I was like, I was wrong!
I really love the practical effects that they... I mean, they show up, and they're a little bit dated and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, do practical effects age worse, or does old CGI age worse?
Yeah.
Definitely old CGI.
Yeah, see?
I was just thrilled to see Bruce Campbell in something not Evil Dead.
Yeah. And this was North Carolina is where this is actually filmed. And apparently it was freezing when they filmed this, and it was hard on Brandon Lee because he's shirtless through most of the shirtless and wet through a lot of the movie.
But it was easy to create all of the mysterious fog and everything.
Yeah. Her little outlining comment is me 100%. I will say I do like who they cast as her adult version in the next one.
Oh yeah,
Mia Kirshner.
Yeah,
I had the hots for her so bad.
And then they just kill her off.
She had the most beautiful. She was like our generation's Meg Foster. She had beautiful eyes.
And it's actually not Lake Erie. It's the Cuyahoga River that he's. So another.
Oh my God! He escaped the dream world.
And he's seen Enter the Dragon 9 times or whatever. Whatever he says.
Enter the Dragon like 9 times.
Yeah.
Daddy. Daddy. If anyone doesn't know, I'm talking about Dreamscape.
Yep. They definitely went with a hugely high gothic style within this, and
the comic book was black and white, so I assume they were trying to channel that by keeping it.
And he was, and even O'Barr was even influenced heavily by Blade Runner. That's why it's raining all the time in the book and in the movie.
With Jeremiah, it can't rain all the time.
I was waiting for that.
I heard that O'Barr was kind of a fan of the old horror movies like Bela Lugosi and that kind of stuff, and I can kind of see that in the film.
Yeah. Fire it up.
This is the dumbest thing. There's the dumbest shit in this movie right there. Especially when what is it, Skank starts doing just randomly.
I'm
like a little worm, but I can't fucking hook.
You're a little worm on a big fucking hook.
Well, your mama must be damn proud of you.
Yeah, not Brandon Lee. Yeah.
If you don't see his face.
Yeah, if you never see his face, except for those shots where they digitally composited his face in there, which had never been done before.
No, this was
out of complete desperation that they needed at least 2 shots with his face in it.
Oh, it's your favorite song.
It's like, and also, who throws away some like sweet fucking combat boots like this?
Yeah, they even cut him out of certain scenes and replaced him.
Yeah, well, no, I know, like the thing when he walks into the apartment, that is literally just like a scene that they.
The shot of him crying in the broken mirror was from another scene.
Yeah.
You live on the street, get used to shoving stuff like that. I can't talk. Get used to shoving something like that down your throat.
One of the weird things was like watching the time correctness of the cigarette. Like the ash is actually longer in the second scene where you see him smoking.
Look up here! Look up here!
Never more. I see you.
Cold is okay. Wet is okay.
So they reused
Cold and
that.
Wet is not okay.
Yeah, like that shot we just saw of him on the rooftop, kind of like walking cold. Yeah. They literally reused that in the scene whenever he walks into the apartment.
Was it like a digital removal of the background or something?
Yeah, watch that video on Good Bad Flicks on YouTube. They actually show how they did it.
Yeah.
They basically rotoscoped him out of a shot.
Yeah.
And then replaced the background.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
okay,
right here.
Yeah, I can see it. Like, because the rain is still in him. Now, why a cat would be hanging around for an entire year?
That was one pretty pussy.
He's been living off of roaches and rats. So.
Oh, Michael Myers is going to be pissed.
Uh-oh. So this was actually... They had to reshoot this scene because this was the scene in which he died.
Oh, my God.
Didn't they burn the film?
Yeah, I don't think like the actual footage. I don't know if it actually exists.
Yeah, they might have trashed that scene.
Yeah, but no, it was. So
I think it was burned at the request of Brandon's wife.
Yeah. So right here, what originally happens? It wasn't him being the knife being thrown. It was Fun Boy turns the gun and fires, and that's what killed him.
I totally forgot that Lord Nikon was in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, like that was one of the things they talked about, how this was one of the hardest things for them to do was come back and refilm that scene.
Excuse me. Oh my God.
Nimble little minx.
For a corpse, yeah.
Imagine how hard you could go and how fast you could run if pain didn't exist.
But the thing is, though, he does still feel pain.
He just gets used to it.
Yeah, he just powers. It's kind of like the whole Wolverine thing of he can still feel it. He just powers through it.
I do not want to. Why didn't they do a follow up to this scene where they see one of them sitting on the toilet? You hear clink, clink,
or you hear, or whenever you just hear, it just blows the back of that.
I thought it would have been funny. It's like you show Skank at one point sitting on the toilet. You hear clink, clink.
So,
that guy can
look,
go
it's
from
Lord Nikon.
Yeah, I was like, he goes from playing a complete, crazy person in this to playing the geekiest dude ever. It's like, that's acting.
Yeah, and now we get to actually witness the group dynamic.
Yep.
This is where I get embarrassed watching this one right here.
Motor City.
This.
You have to fire it up.
Yeah.
So originally, Michael Massey was not supposed to play T-Bird. They wanted, because of the influence of the comic, for it to be why am I blanking on his name right now? Curve, who was in the sequel. The fucking, why can't I think of his name? Iggy Pop.
What cell phones are for.
They said that they wanted Iggy Pop for the first movie, but he wasn't available.
Yeah, because he was on tour. Yeah, he was on tour at the time, so he couldn't be in it.
Definitely made sure to get him for the sequel.
Yeah, because the character Fun Boy, like his look was based off of Iggy Pop.
Yeah, I can see that.
I have to laugh though whenever I see what's her name, Darla.
Yeah,
the woman who plays what's her name, the little girl.
Her mom, Sarah's mom.
Sarah's mom. Yeah. Every time I see her, I think of Leonard Part 6, and she's that.
She's that fortune teller. Yeah,
that Polish wizard.
She's also what I remember, because it was so close to when this coming out. She's the hooker that gets cut up in Unforgiven.
Yeah. I just remember her going yakshimash, yakshimash, while she's like handing him the melted butter and shit. Yakshimash.
Yeah, this was not originally supposed to be flashback. This is
all filler to make up for the fact that he wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they still had to hit a time limit or hit a certain time. Like this is a reused shot right there.
Yeah.
You can see it's not his head on that body. It was a totally different color.
Yep.
See, Blu-ray, high definition ruins everything.
Oh man. No hiding of secrets.
All right, watch the Blu-ray of X-Men 2. Yeah, I was going to say, watch the Blu-ray of X-Men 2. There is one shot that gets completely ruined.
They never explain why he has the electrical tape on his hands.
They
never explain why.
That's actually in a deleted. That's actually in a deleted scene. They explain that.
That's because he was in the Land of the Dead.
No, it was. It's because he uses the. Well, when we get to it, I'll say it. But I did want to point out that. The Cure has actually only played this song for the soundtrack. They've never played this in concert. So, interesting.
I always like this song more than the Stone Temple Pilots song.
Yeah. Well, no, and The Cure was a heavy influence on James O'Barr. So, when he was writing even that, there's even more tragedy that surrounds the Crow, as he wrote that book because it was him dealing with the death of his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's kind of like this whole thing is just shrouded in tragedy.
Yeah. It's kind of sad, but an awesome movie came out of it.
And Buck,
And look.
Hey, you're in Sewer Shark.
Oh my God, I forgot he was in Sewer Shark. Oh my God.
He was your scumbag boss. At the end, he's like sitting on the beach. Oh, man.
What is this character actor's name? Joe. Was it?
Let me guess. It's Italian.
Yeah, Polento. He passed away a couple years ago. He was only 65. I think he has cancer. He has lost. I remember. Yeah, it was cancer because I remember him losing a bunch of weight, and because I remember him playing Danny DeVito's brother on It's Always Sunny. And I remember he was also in Chuds. And if you listen to the commentary on Chuds, they talk about how he was one of the only guys that ever got work after he gained a shitload of weight and lost his hair.
I love these motion control shots.
See, and here's another just hugely good transition.
Yeah.
They use the movie and the music to complement each other.
This used to be on my cardio playlist.
Well, I mean, we're witnessing cardio, so
yeah. No, and it does. And to be fair,
this is pre-core.
It does have a really good rhythm if you're running or if you're doing elliptical or something.
Well, I mean, Trent Reznor's always been good at like tempo and percussion stuff.
Yeah. And this is actually originally a Joy Division song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a real bad compositing shot. His feet were, every time his feet would touch the ground, they would still be sliding. He's not the Flash, everybody. Nevermore.
Yep.
Oh, and notice how he's totally landing on a mat here. If they don't just cut away
before his feet touched it.
Yeah. Well, like even I remember as a kid seeing this on VHS and noticing it.
I mean, it can't get worse than like the worst movie edit I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And it was
great about there. Yeah. It's like they just cut away slightly sooner.
What was it? Hollow Man in the theater. You could actually there was a scene where you could actually see like the boom mic up in the top, and you could see it moving back and forth between the two characters, between Kevin Bacon and whoever it was.
Aspect ratio.
Yeah, well, no, it's because whoever is operating the projector didn't have it set up right.
They didn't have the mat set up correctly.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I saw was it 8mm? It was some Nicolas Cage movie where they did that.
Yeah, no, because when the versions theaters get like you have to like adjust the aspect ratio.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why a lot of times if you see a movie in theater and you see that it's like because the projection has not done their job.
So I went and saw Rapid Fire in the theater, which I think came out like a year before this.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, and I liked the movie despite Brendan Lee. I thought he was cool martial arts wise, but I didn't think he was a very good actor.
Yeah.
I thought he definitely had a ways to go.
Yeah.
His dad wasn't really a great actor, but he just had charisma.
The thing is, he actually went to actor studio.
Well, I was gonna say it's his first, big movie as like the lead. That was getting a theatrical release. I don't think Laser Mission did.
No.
So you could tell there was some growing pains going on, but I was just like, eventually this guy might get there. And then I saw this, and I was just like, dude, we're there.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, like, Hollywood is full of nepotism.
Also, I was just like, he talks for someone who just got his ass kicked by this guy. He's talking a lot of shit to him.
He's just trying to get the advantage.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is like that pipe's got to be dirty as shit, and Brandon Lee's his shirt is still clean.
Well, ghost powers.
Yeah. It's like the end of the first Blade movie.
Some motherfuckers always try to skate uphill. Yeah.
Yeah, but would the big blood beast thing have been any better?
Try again.
Really good line.
What the fuck?
Can you feel me?
Aren't we all?
Well, there's Iggy.
There's Iggy Pop.
Yeah. Like cameo homage.
Yep.
To what could have been.
Hangman's...
But then again, wouldn't it have been Iggy Pop that was the guy who shot Brandon Lee then?
Yeah. No, it's... Yeah. But I forget,
this was the
Hangman's Joke.
right?
That's the name of the band, right? Is it Hangman's Joke? Is that the name of their band?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, the song that she sings is sung by someone totally different on the soundtrack. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I hate that shit when clubs do that stuff in the movies. Yeah. Someone's welding up there just so you can have sparks and shit.
Kind of reminds me of there's a venue in my town, so it's Birmingham, but Birmingham's big enough so that no one could track me down. There's an old steel furnace called Sloss Furnace, and several metal bands like show up just for the acoustics, and this kind of reminds me of it, the whole industrial look.
What's that?
Look at his forehead.
Tony Todd's?
No, the other guy. Him. See it?
He's
got like 3 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 3 lines on there. And he's got the 2 burns on either side of his mouth.
Hey, Bai Ling.
I've met her too. I met her at Star Wars Celebration.
I wonder if she speaks more than one language.
Mm-hmm.
Then she could be bilingual.
Wow. Okay, then.
And I guess I bet he's.
I thought it was funny that they had her at the celebration. It was Star Wars Celebration 3 when it was right after the third movie came out.
And her role got cut.
Her whole scene got cut out, but she was still at the convention.
Yeah. Well, she also did like a Playboy spread because of it too.
Yeah. I have an autographed picture of her and a picture with her.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, Michael Wincott. I'm sure he's not talk like this in this movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that he's British.
No, he's Canadian.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he had a British accent.
Well, he plays a lot. Well, because he plays Brits a lot, like in Robin Hood. And
what was the movie where he kidnaps a kid?
Oh, Along Came a Spider.
Yeah, that's it.
Titties.
But they're post-mortem titties.
Titties. I just watched it. I was like, I hadn't seen Michael Wincott in forever, and then I watched Nope.
Yeah.
And he's in that.
He's basically basically the Quint character.
Yeah.
In Nope. Guy sounds like he smokes 80 packs a day.
It looks like he smokes 80 packs a day.
Well,
he looks like worn sun-dried leather. There wasn't anyone driving anyway. The guy was turning in a different direction.
He was just trying to help her out.
Don't be a douche.
And little Jesus Mary Chain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is where I heard of a lot of bands for the first time was this soundtrack.
Nope.
In the obligatory biker bar with like 6 motorcycles in front of it.
Well, in the pit,
no one inside wearing.
That's what it shows. Like
anything.
the pit is a direct reference to the book because this is where they all hung out. Yeah. There's a scene in the book where the Crow like just kills a shitload of people in the bar, but
probably change that over to the shootout scene.
Yeah.
Go get a hot dog. Eat a lot of onions.
The police.
God, I would hate to be that fucking second unit person having to film all these shots with a crow flying around.
Hoping that the bird flies the correct way.
Yeah. Can you see the crow in the dark?
We're closed.
That's what your mom said.
Whoa.
And you instantly know how old the movie is because you see tube televisions everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never learn.
Can I have one of those CRTs?
I heard a tap as of someone gently walking out my chamber door.
Motherfucker.
You heard me rapping.
Trespassing. And you owe me a fucking new door. I'm looking for something in an engagement ring. Oh, you're looking for a car. Shit.
Well, everybody always writes him off at first, and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Well, I mean, they think the rules of reality apply.
Yeah.
I think somebody
He's
has
like,
a fetish.
That would have been great if you were just like asking you shall receive. And then it turns into a scat film. Dirk.
I mean, punch through the glass, grab the knife, stab him through the hand.
Yeah.
Like, that proves a fucking point. Like, I am not the person to fuck with.
Or if you're Ron Perlman, the man with whom to fuck.
Yeah. I am not a man with whom to fuck. Was that Alien?
Alien or
Alien,
Resurrection?
Alien
Yeah,
Resurrection.
Oh my god. That was
And the worst part of it was I saw Joss Whedon at Wizard World like a year after. No, it was like 3 or 4 years after that because it was after Titan AE bombed.
Yeah.
And I went there to see him because of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And he joked about the fact, he's like, oh, I wrote a movie that shut down an entire animation studio. I'm like, you're joking around about how many people that lost their jobs? I was like, you're a dick. And it turns out I was right.
Yep.
graffiti.
I I could watch Ernie Hudson in anything. That guy, as bad as the fucking Substitute is,
the way he holds the cigarette, just
I don't think I've ever seen him we're talking about Congo earlier. He is the best thing in Congo. Yeah. I said, "Stop eating my sesame cake."
Although that's
I know that's Delroy Lindo. I know, but that's the only line I remember from that movie. The other one, sorry, Tim Curry's good line is, "My name is
Push." Hey, hands to yourself, Monsieur.
Now all of the flashbacks are great because it explains the motivation of the character, and.
Well, this is the thing, like a lot of comic books are missing is actual character development.
Yeah. Oh, hey, wow. Big spender, Eric Draven.
He's a musician. Got a joke for you. What do all strippers do to their assholes before going into work?
What's that?
Drop them off at band practice. I'll be here all night.
Yep. Try the veal.
Now, why was he storing so much gasoline?
I don't know. He's like, why would you have kerosene, canisters? And
he knew that, in 20, whatever, that there'd be a gasoline shortage crisis.
Oh, yeah, okay. He's planning ahead.
Nicknames. In the comic book, he does.
Is this the first R-rated comic book movie?
No. I mean, I feel like there
had to be at least. Like,
I always loved this.
Dolph Lundgren, the Punisher.
Yeah,
that came out in the late '80s.
Yeah,
like that predates this. I'm not sure that one's the first one either.
Yeah. Nice smell.
And the crow's like, "I'm peace out."
Yep.
I love that shot of the ring.
Yeah. But no, I guess in the comic book, he flat out fucking kills Gideon.
Just kills him dead.
Yeah. Because there's this whole joke of like how he has a Walther PPK that he takes from him, and he pulls another gun on him and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Gideon, you forgot about your Walther," and then shoots him in the head with the gun.
Sick burn. Yamada Zahua. He's got a shower cap on. I'm so sorry. I laughed so hard.
Now, have you noticed, like, it's really difficult to ever see his badge in good detail? And, like, even in this scene, the badge is missing on the coat.
So they can keep
it's supposed to be.
So they don't actually say it's Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it fell off and nobody noticed. You can see it looks like there's a piece of tape there.
You know someone named T-Bird? He had a friend who shouldn't play with knives. He was already dead. He died a year or two. Nobody touched him.
No, look at this sweet
Oh my god, it's just during the police academy. You see one of them go like, "Hey, free TV!"
Yeah. Cheese at the fuzz.
It's only one cop. See, that's just more like disguised to let people think that it's not Detroit, because only one cop was there and it scared off a bunch of criminals.
This is not reality, apparently. What's it? It says on it.
Something City.
Yeah, something City Police.
It's like Metro City or something like that. Yeah.
Generic.
Yep. He fancies himself a vampire.
A fancy lad.
Yeah.
Look at all that powdered sugar.
Even has Brad Pitt's hairstyle from Interview with the Vampire. Yeah,
man, that's good eyeball.
Yeah. Chase it with some Coke.
Yummy. Be my victim.
Helen. That's still probably one of my favorite horror movies ever. Oh, I never noticed that before.
Yeah,
that he had scars. High def ruins everything.
Well, I always noticed the things on his cheeks, but I never noticed the
Band-Aids?
lines on his. I never noticed the lines on his head.
On his forehead, yeah.
More than likely glucose.
I've always noticed his shitty haircut.
Someone lost a bet.
And found a bowl and stuck it on his head.
Doesn't he also have like a little bit like kind of like a little like ponytail in the back too?
Yeah, a little rat tail thing. Yeah.
Oh,
of course, I should be talking about hair. You know, I had the good sense to cut all of mine off.
Birdie.
Well, here you go. Here's your line.
Aw. See, at least she knows how to curse at somebody. Like dust head. Somebody wrote that.
Never learn. You look a lot like my dead friend. Oh, she's a latchkey kid.
Damn it, Batman! I wish in some movie when somebody does something like that where like they're talking and then the person turns around and look at them and the person they're talking to is gone. Just rude.
Well, I mean, there's always, so that's what that feels like. Which I love how it was pointed out. I was like, why is he still using the voice? Nobody's there.
Oh, wait, doesn't the Flash say that in that movie?
Well, no, Flash is the one that doesn't disappear.
Well, he's the one that kind of goes like, oh, that's
I
rude.
guess they should have. Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hangman's joke.
Last time he was sleeping around like this, when he put back on the beat. You're gonna wind up working as
What, are you kidding me? They're not going to let me near kids.
But he's a Ghostbuster. Plays parties and everything.
Thou shalt not talk of Ghostbusters 2.
It's better than Afterlife.
I liked Afterlife.
You know. Now, Ghostbusters 2016.
That's the one.
Oh,
It's not. I don't think it's not a bad movie. It's just not funny.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Everyone was like sitting there going like, "Oh, all female Ghostbusters." I'm like, who cares? My problem with it wasn't funny.
The Go Gotham Blues.
What's this?
Yep.
I forget the band, but the song I remember is Go Gotham Blues.
Yeah.
This is with the da-da.
Yeah.
Da-da.
I remember this being on like the trailer for the soundtrack.
The bird in the house.
This is Squab. He's tripping balls right now.
I just watched Brendan Lee make out with a light bulb.
More of heavy petting. So for the longest time, a lot of people thought this was the scene where Brendan Lee died, but it's not.
No.
That is more than likely the gun that killed him, but...
Seriously,
Because I'll see it still
This is
hurt.
awesome. This is awesome.
But now
Yeah.
he's just like,
Yeah, because you can
He's
tell,
like,
but from his reaction, you can
Wait,
totally
no.
tell it still hurt when it happened. But then he's just kind of
Like
like,
the initial
fuck
shock
it.
of it
Yeah,
happening was like, oh God.
yeah.
Not quite.
Jesus Christ walks into a hotel.
and we'll see an oops in here. And I have no idea why it's there.
3 nails.
Can you put me up for the night?
There it is, that cable. I have no idea.
Oh,
why that
yeah,
cable
Oh,
there
from
is
his
there.
pant leg?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's probably for the squib.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me grab something quick.
Look what you've done to my sheets.
And he passes out from pain.
He couldn't have passed out from pain.
He's high as shit.
Yeah, he's a high as shit on morphine. Like, there is no pain.
Jeremiah taking them crack pills.
I just got reflux like that.
I ended up buying that stuff at Walmart that you take for like a month and then it stops. I haven't had it since. I used to like wake up in the middle of the night, like I'd puke into my mouth when I was sleeping because of the
Yeah, the
acid
reflux,
reflux.
But so to answer your question earlier about like why he has tape, this is actually part of a deleted scene that got cut out. It's because he uses his power to
Heal her.
expel the
Yeah.
expel the morphine from her, and
Okay.
then
When
Fun
he helps
Boy,
somebody else, he retains like some damage.
and then no, it's because Fun Boy then comes out of it, like comes out of like he gets back up, and then that razor he picks up and starts slashing Brandon
Holds up
Lee.
his hands to stop
And
it.
then and it's not healing, so that's when he grabs the electric tape to stop it from bleeding. So it's
Oh, yeah,
because
because
he
he used his allotment of power to heal her.
yeah. So
And
yeah,
and it's got to build back up.
yeah. And that was like you can find. I'm fairly certain you can find that on YouTube. It might even be on this. I don't know the
I
special features.
don't remember if I looked at the extra features on this one. It definitely wasn't on the DVD that I used to have.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But no,
My
that is.
God, those things. Jeez.
Don't fall down the stairs. Well,
No,
those don't
she's
cushion
got-
you.
She's got built-in safety pillows.
Yeah, so like right here is probably where it gets cut. Where like right about there he comes to, because that was the whole, and you can really see it too. Like that was the whole setup of the razor blade being thrown on the ground near him.
Okay.
Probably just cut it out for time.
Yeah.
Keep the pacing.
Hmm.
God,
I mean,
love that
there's
crowd.
a lot of abrupt cutaways, and you can now that we all know like a lot of more of the stuff that happened behind the scenes, it's like, oh, they cut away to hide this or hide that kind of thing.
Look out, you're going to bruise your chin.
Like, his burnt head.
And leather on top of it that sticks to wounds.
It's like a second skin.
See, that could have been where it happened, was when he picked him up out of the tub. He was like, ah! And slashed at him.
Yeah, because there was still no tape on his hands. Syringe.
Or it could have been when he was stabbing him with the needles.
And was that, well, I also wonder, was that Brandon Lee we saw?
True.
It could have been part of the reshoot.
Yeah. It could have been a reshoot to cover it up.
Yeah.
Yep. That could have been a reshoot too.
Yeah. And him, very, very Christopher Walken of him going, I told you a secret before you were born. I put my finger right there and I said, shh.
I love that movie. We gotta watch that for the podcast.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good movie.
Prophecy.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that in the theater.
Also a Miramax movie, if I'm not
that's a Dimension.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well, this is Dimension. Yeah. Well, this was originally Dimension too.
Yeah. But I didn't know who Viggo Mortensen was. I just saw his name in the credits when I saw the Prophecy. I didn't realize it was the guy from Crimson Tide. So when he showed up in the movie, I kind of like went, oh, that's Viggo. So I said, oh, that's Viggo. And then Ghostbusters 2 hit in my brain. And I went like, you're like the buzzing of flies to him. And these two guys sitting in front of me turned around and looked at me. And they just started laughing.
Somebody points out, why are you still wearing your hat?
Can't rain all the time.
Baloney,
that's a lot of baloney.
And there's tape on the hands.
Seen a beer before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you really want to call Silver Bullet a beer,
it's a Coors Light.
I mean, it's the Silver Bullet.
It's American beer. It's canoe beer. It's all American beer is canoe beer. It's like, like having sex in a canoe. It's fucking close to water.
I had a rock band party back in my old apartment with a bunch of people from work, and they brought over like cases, and I mean multiple cases of Busch Light.
Oh,
they drank. I didn't drink any because I don't like beer. They drank like 4 cases of. There was 4 guys. They drank 4 cases of Busch Light, and none of them were drunk.
Oh my god, professional alcoholics.
I remember like I had to drag like 3 like garbage bags full of empty beer cans. They were recycling the next day.
They're just keeping their buzz.
Just because like they were singing and stuff, and they weren't slurring anything. They still remembered all the lyrics and shit. I was just like, how is this possible? Oh, you're drinking beer flavored water. That's why.
Water.
I didn't know that any self-respecting liquor store would actually carry that many cases of Busch Light to begin with.
Hey, got to make money.
I guess.
Or they may have just
the 4 cases came to probably $10.62 total,
giving them a profit of $9.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those just like shitty frame pictures.
Yeah, they just like put his head over somebody. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen the way you live.
I mean, he doesn't even put up his trombone properly. It's just laying on the couch.
If I ever made a movie, I'd find a way to work Ernie Hudson into it.
He doesn't seem to know how to say no.
Oh,
so.
I forgot to tell you. My brother is doing a television show, like a Netflix show that he wrote.
Huh.
And they're still casting for it. And when we met up for Christmas, he was telling me that they're possibly getting Katie Sackhoff to be in it.
Huh.
And one of the characters is like a Yakuza boss. And he said that the person they had in mind wasn't really interested. And he was having a hard time trying to figure out who to cast. And I'm sitting there going like, who do I know from movies and stuff that could be a good mafia boss? And I was like, oh, that dude from Bullet Train.
I haven't seen Bullet Train.
Did you see Snake Eyes?
The Nicolas Cage?
No, Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie.
No.
The guy that plays Storm Shadow in it. His name is Andrew Kochi. That guy is fantastic. He's in Bullet Train also. And I go, oh, that guy that played Storm Shadow in the G.I. Joe movie. And he goes, which one? I'm like, Snake Eyes. And I'm like, he played a Yakuza boss, but like he's really good in it. Like he's better than a G.I. Joe movie deserved, kind of thing. And he's like, oh, okay, I'll look into it. So he texted his buddy in L.A. while we were watching Long Kiss Goodnight because that's our Christmas movie every year. So we're sitting there watching Long Kiss Goodnight. He had texted his buddy that's his producing partner in L.A. and said, look up this guy Andrew Koji, for the mafia boss guy. And then, like, while we're watching Long Kiss Goodnight, he gets a text back. He's just like, they're sending an offer to his agent.
Nice. Sure, I did this.
I was like, that's me. You owe me this job, bro.
Give you a
casting.
Something.
Casting
Now here's my S words.
Hey, and he stole that from the Robin Hood set. I am like the one person that hates that fucking movie.
Robin Hood?
Yeah.
Fuck me, cleared it.
I hate that movie so much.
But at least I didn't use a spoon.
Everyone's like, oh my god, Alan Rickman is like the best in that movie. Like, I guess he's just spitting all the time.
And with his jet black hair.
I just can't stand it. I don't know. I can't stand that movie for some reason. It just gets on my
The
nerves when I'm watching
turncoat.
it. Don't get me wrong; it has a great cast and all that, but just I can't do it. That came out like in '91, didn't it? Yeah, I remember we saw that opening weekend, and then there's another song from a film that I ended up having to endure for months because back then at Kmart, that was before I was working in electronics.
Wait! I do love this moment. I love I have to see this really quick. Freeze.
He shoots him.
Well, no, if he does this first.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing like the
die already.
Give me that. Yeah, he just shit's like for fuck's sakes, die already.
Overkill with that fucking space gun he's got there. But back then, I wasn't in electronics yet, so they would have like the songs playing over like the intercom system, and it was an audio tape that was just on a constant loop, and it was on both sides. Everything I do for you. I fucking hate that song now.
See, so when I worked retail, there were several CDs that showed up, and we listened to them for like about a week. And my store manager was really cool, and we would get an iPod and like remix them and stuff. And there were certain songs that we hated, and we took them out and just this disc. It was damaged, but don't worry, we still have like a mix of the songs on this iPad here, and none of corporate figured out some of the crap out.
Yeah, you're playing fucking Black Sabbath and shit.
Oh wow, I didn't know that you guys would play like the unedited version of like Godsmack songs. Wait, what?
Yeah. It's obvious she knew that it was him saying it because it's something he obviously had said and she knew of before. So she had to listen to the record to remind herself.
Well, it's for us. It's for the audience.
Sarah's supposed to be the audience's vehicle throughout the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love these fucking motion control shots. These are so cool.
Like, she's a kid that doesn't know shit. And apparently the audience.
Oh god, did you see that? How the sidewalk didn't line up? High def ruins everything because it was clearly because it's a model and they're
not superimposed, composite.
Yeah,
superimposed.
And like, because it just was not the sidewalk where they were walking was not lining. It was like doing this.
Stop already!
Fire it up! was still banging away on darling. Oh, skank. What's funny is like that dude's like super Italian too.
Yeah.
Like I've seen him in other stuff. Like, cause he's in G.I. Jane and in he's like, oh, he's in The Substitute too.
Is he?
Yeah, he's Treat Williams' like right hand man.
I don't think I've watched. I didn't like the first one, so I never watched any of the sequels.
And so yeah, and he always talks like this in it, you know.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I wanted Mario to sound in the Mario Brothers movie that's coming out. Not really.
It's me.
Oh my god, I'm so glad they did not do that. It would have driven me nuts. I don't mind the little throwbacks they throw in there. Have you seen the trailer?
Well, I love how he even just like opened if you look, it just says that he opened the potato chip bag upside down. He's just eating out of it.
Have you seen the new trailer for Mario Brothers?
No,
They have to say a couple of the lines, but he talks normally, which is.
And there he is holding the gun that more than likely killed him.
Yep.
That he stole from Fun Boy.
Boy, yep. What's this happy horse shit?
Yep.
I love what the guy in the compact says to him. Where is it?
Ass hair. Like I said, somebody wrote this.
His stupid ass hair.
Dust head.
Drugs.
Yeah, he's got those cigar burns on his
yeah.
chest. Notice that.
Cigar burns on either side.
High def, man.
That was not his voice. Can't even call it cream legally.
It's funny. Bruh.
See, and then you can see the scars really
There's the
well.
scars.
Yeah.
Before they looked like they were just like some appliance. Now they actually look like legit scars.
Yeah. I guess because it's a closer shot. That's why they were doing it.
Detail they
Yeah.
put on there. Yeah, if he's standing in shadow like he was most of the time, as long as you saw this one was there.
And that is not Brandon Lee.
Well, you're supposed to see. I never noticed that it wasn't because you're focusing on David Patrick Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, they use a lot of like misdirections and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Same
like
thing with Seven.
drawing your eyes away from him.
Yeah.
When it's
And like
not
he's
him.
just out of focus, so you can't really
There's that shot in Seven where Kevin Spacey's
body double.
kneeling on the ground at the end of the movie before they shoot him.
It's his body double.
You could totally tell it's his body double if you actually look at him, but because the focus is on Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, nobody noticed for decades.
Goddamn foreign cars! Fucking Skank. Skank is sort of the hero of the last act for me. Like, he's one of the best parts. I'm coming for you! And then,
Yeah.
of course, the cops are okay because they had airbags. Before we really knew the damage that airbags did to people.
Especially at the speed they were going.
Yep.
I mean, they showed his odometer, and it was like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the cops are, keeping
Trying
pace.
to catch
So-
up, yeah.
And this is another one of those scenes where you can pretty much tell Brandon Lee is not in any of this scene. It's like just showing his hands. Like they really go out of their
Makeup
way.
keeps changing on him too.
Yeah.
The makeup for his burn scars
Oh, yeah.
is completely different.
Yeah.
Because this was probably a
is obviously
reshoot. Yeah.
Even the covering up his hair
Yeah.
with the shadow.
And then they're using
Yeah, reuse the
recycled.
shot.
Yeah. The devil stood.
Pornography.
You found how awful goodness is. This is the really real world.
He did a really good job of like
Probably to
selling the
cover
fear.
up the fact that he cut his hair.
Yeah. There ain't no
See,
coming back.
his haircut is completely
it was
different.
it was a little bit further up. Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely was a reshoot.
Yeah. That was done. What is this? I love this as I love the little bye-bye.
And of course, the thing that they had to copy in the second movie is up and coming.
That's cool. Really carving apart.
And to be fair, that lighter fluid would not have lasted long enough for he would have needed sterno or something else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shit would have burned off in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Definitely was not enough in that tiny little bottle.
Yeah. I always love like the Adult Swim thing with Daredevil. He's like, I need room for my D's, my big flaming D's on the ground.
I do like how like the trench coat is progressively in worse and worse shape.
Yeah. Well, he's taking a bunch of bullets.
Yeah, all the damage he's been taking, I'll be seeing you.
You don't want to fuck.
Oh my God! Now she's going for Mommy of the Year.
Hey, free breakfast. Shut the fuck up.
She was never very good at this mommy shit.
She sure as hell doesn't know how to dress like a mom.
Oh my God, she's dressed like
Oh, it said Detroit. It said Detroit on the television.
Oh, shit.
So, wow, we have a confirmation.
Yep. Cat's out of the bag.
You know who she's dressed like? Sherry Moon Zombie in Halloween 2.
Hey, and she was also kind of a whore in that movie. Yeah, it was the lottery of he didn't murder me last night. You know how expensive eggs are, lady? Don't throw those away. It's like $5 for a dozen now.
I just got a part in a movie called Congo.
And then this guy who's in fucking everything.
Yep. It's not Robert Davi.
Extraordinarily pop-art.
It's not
Robert Navi.
Yeah.
You know, him, Robert Davi, and Edward James Olmos should all be in a movie together. They could call it Pits. I was just going to say Pits.
Damn.
Don't forget, Jeremiah. Edward James Olmos is friends with those guys at G4.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Not anymore. G4 doesn't exist anymore.
It got canceled not once, but twice.
Yeah, it's true.
They came back and then they fucked up again.
Kevin Pereira is still a douche. I've never met the man, but I've seen his work.
Hey, at least we got Olivia Munn out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yum yum, give me some.
Of that Munn?
Of that Munn, yeah. You're a poet and didn't know it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know the guy's a douche. Look at that haircut.
And he's had it for 20 years. I just remember the sketches they used to do on Attack of the Show used to crack me up. Like the lesbianic woman.
Oh, God. Things you couldn't get away with today.
Yeah, you couldn't get away with it now, but back then that was some funny shit. The thing with the pickle jars, there was like this ongoing thing that they had where whenever she would try to open something, she couldn't do it. She would like orgasm.
Yeah.
So like someone was like, "Can you open this pickle jar for me?" She'd be like, "Ah!" And it went on for like 3 or 4 episodes. Like they'd be talking like at their little podium thing on Attack of the Show, like Munn and Herrera, and then he would just randomly in the middle of one of her sentences put a pickle jar down on the counter. And then,
sounds like Nicolas Cage from Face Off.
Look it up. It's all on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Yeah, old school G4 got away with a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Mostly because nobody was watching it.
I remember when this
Except for us dirty-minded kids.
Except us, yeah.
When this movie came out, I kind of had a crush on Sophie Shines, or however the hell you say her name, Shinas. That's who plays Shelley.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
and I remember
lip. Right?
This is back when the internet was kind of a new thing.
Oh, you're going to Mr. Skin.
Well, I mean, I couldn't afford Mr. Skin, but I would just type in her name, naked nude, in web crawler.
Then you'd have come up with Marina Service.
Web crawler. And wait for that dial-up to show you those sweet pictures.
And then somebody, I would be in the middle of my search, somebody would call, and then it would fuck everything up, and I'd have to start all over again.
I just remember I'd be playing like one of my MMOs on the dial-up, and then all of a sudden I'd hear it downstairs, and my mother going like, "Will you get off the fucking phone?"
Red Star, what a commie. Yeah, just like in Long Kiss Goodnight, getting him out of all the pictures.
I think they were trying to convey like how Eric realizes that he can't go back to be the person he used to be.
Yeah.
Well, it's like once what he set out to accomplish is done. I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah.
Well,
which is what would have set the second film apart.
Yeah.
If it was never messed with, because in that movie the guy was cursed to walk the earth.
Yeah, because he decides to turn
forever.
against what he was supposed to do.
Which would have been really cool, but that got fucked up. I have a feeling that the second Crow movie would have actually been really cool if it wasn't
edited to shit.
If it wasn't cut down.
Yeah.
And like, this is a really good cinematic scene.
This is definitely a shot after he died.
Yeah.
I'm in the shadows.
Yep.
And they're probably just like using some dialogue from another part of the movie.
Yeah. And the end of the movie. Oh no. I love this scene. You look like a dead whore, or he's all painted up like some dead whore.
I wonder if it's Michael Wincott actually laughing at the guy's performance.
I really think so, because like he goes back to being straight-laced so quick. Like it's almost like he couldn't keep his shit together.
Yeah.
I'm sure the direction was just
let it happen. Just let it happen.
Like, we're not reshooting that.
So what did you do to get into character for this scene? A lot of cocaine!
That boy was out of control. He was going to kill my ass. They should have listened to him. It's funny because, Top Dollar, he's the last to die. He was like the second to die in the book.
Yeah.
Because T-Bird was really more the main antagonist in the book.
Because how many people in Detroit are really into those pickled eggs that are right there?
Not enough.
Even the cat's like
the jar.
The cat's like, yo, fuck that.
I don't think that cat really wants to be on camera.
Oh, it's like Amelia.
Oh yeah, because like it keeps on trying to get back, and it's like someone's fuck up there.
That cat was fine with you being held until the camera was on.
And it was like, yeah. And she
the
was
moment
like,
you saw the camera was there, she'd be like, "I'm out.
Fuck this shit.
I'm not getting paid."
No one could witness me being placid and cute.
It's not like the cat from The Godfather. That thing loved the camera. And here she explains it.
Have you seek therapy? And the lead into my favorite song off this soundtrack.
Here's my question: why are there people yelling out their windows going, "Shut up"?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with how early it, like, this is early morning, right?
Yeah, it's like dawn.
Yeah.
I think Death was good for his rock and roll career.
Yeah. But it's a Fender. Way of the
I like the
future.
Thrill Kill Cult.
Yep.
Have you heard the story of like why the Thrill Kill cult actually exists?
Mm-hmm.
It's apparently they were like some sort of, it was supposed to be some farce of like a documentary, and then they decided that they liked being a band.
I know they splintered.
There's
at one
Trent.
point.
There we go.
Yeah, I remember they splintered at one point, and like some of the members of the band went and became the Electric Hellfire Club, and they were like heavy Satanists.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently their origins was like they came together to be this in this documentary and stuff, and then they just decided
Kept
to
going.
stick it out as a band, which was weird.
And they've been around for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice top view of that cleavage.
First place I think I ever did hear them was on the Cool World soundtrack, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Hollywood if she could.
Yeah. The best thing about that movie is the soundtrack. Was it Sex on Wheels and what was it? God is... I can't remember what the name of that other song is.
Your cartoons, you're not real.
He is so bad in that movie. Brad Pitt. Because I remember I saw that at the drive-in, and I was like, whoever that guy is, he's fucking awful. You know?
And now he's an Academy Award.
And then I remember when Interview with the Vampire was coming out, I really wanted to see it, and I was like, I'm not watching that. It's got that dude from Cool World in it. That guy's awful. But all the women were gushing over him being in Legends of the Fall like the year before.
The guy they just showed is the guy who is the alien from They Live, the fight choreographer guy.
Oh, Jeff Amata?
Yeah.
But then I went and saw Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
Despite Brad Pitt being in it. And I was like, oh my God, he actually is really good.
Well, he's kind of a motley crew of actor he has.
Yeah.
Man, I always feel that like people like him and Clarence Boddicker, and I feel like there's another villain, another gang villain that has like this weird multicultural gang.
There's the other stunt man, the Spanish stunt guy that's like in every movie.
Oh yeah. What about Devil's Night? That guy, yeah. Devil's Night greeting cards.
Yeah.
Isn't that precious? Now that would be now Michael Jai White would be playing that role.
He did in Batman.
Yeah,
basically. It was a Dark Knight.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love this. Like a little worm on a big fucking hook. Your mama must be damn proud of you.
It has begun.
Yep.
You've been marked. Let's broaden our minds.
Lawrence? Which is also available on this podcast.
Yep. All 4 of those movies,
yes.
Unfortunately.
What?
No, best thing about that pod.
They're all aiming really high.
Jeremiah going, fuck you! Every time there's a whoop sound.
I see you've made your decision.
Oh, it's past the midpoint of the movie. There needs to be another action scene. So.
Yep.
Oh, I just realized his stomach's all.
Oh, that was part of the cut up. Yeah, that was part of the cut up. Like, I remember
in the comic book, didn't he have like barbed wire on him or something?
Like there's a thing that where he like certain. I don't think they were actually part of the like they were just like art stuff, like art pictures that he drew of him doing that. But in the actual comic, no, I think he does, there's a certain point where like he cuts his wrists and shit, and he tapes himself back up.
Yikes!
But yeah,
I remember in the graphic novel, the Skull Cowboy's like fucking with him while he's on the train.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's
the whole barbed wire and stuff. And he's like, "Don't look."
Yeah, because he sees the stallion or the mare because that's supposed to represent Shelley. Getting cut because that's the whole thing of like don't
like,
look.
I told you not to look.
Yeah, and that's why in that Cure song, the first lyrics are "Don't look, the shadows say," you know. So, and there he is. There's Jeff LaMotta, and probably helped choreograph this scene.
Yeah.
See, like in college, I actually did like I had extra credits that I could take just for filler shit, and I took Stage Combat 1 and 2.
Oh god!
And there was like the guy who was teaching it was a credited like fight choreographer.
I always love this the flip. Yeah.
Parkour.
Click, 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 bam.
Yeah, when I made the first Star Wars fan film, the two people that played the leads, the one that played the hero and the villain, they both had swordsman experience.
Yeah.
The guy who played the Jedi took, was it Epee or fencing in high school?
Yeah.
And what school offers fencing as an elective in high school? And then the other guy, because he was a LARPer, he had rapier fighting experience.
Oh, I guess the concert's canceled.
Yep.
It's just it reminds me of something.
Reznor's crying now.
Well, no, that reminds me of something that actually kind of happened at a Chevelle concert at the Aragon, where some dipshit got himself impaled on an organ.
Jesus.
Because he wanted it at a Chevelle concert.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
Gross. I don't know what's worse, dying at a Chevelle concert or going to see Chevelle concert.
Oh.
I always love this. Not Skank.
He's Skank.
You're Skank right there. Skank's dead. That's right.
Didn't say.
And then I love how it's the same fucking cops that got the coffee spilled off.
Yeah.
They even said, "What the crap?"
We're in the wrong place at the wrong time every time.
I love this little tap dance. Yeah.
His tap dances to the side, doesn't care. He just doesn't care at all. That's not Brandon.
You can tell his movement's different.
Yeah. Well,
The
It was the hair. You could tell that it was a wig.
And they
the
really
body type is close, but his movements are more jerky.
Yeah, and they really do. They really go out of their way when they go out of their way to not show his face. Like that's
like Brennan. He's a martial artist by trade, so he's kind of graceful.
Yeah.
In his movements.
I think
the other guy,
like this, he used a lot of his stuntman.
Yeah, it's Stahelski doing it.
But I mean, isn't he a martial artist as well?
Not really.
Oh, really? Oh.
I mean, yeah, he is, but
not at
this point
level.
in time. I don't think he really was. Because the movie I knew him from was Nemesis 2.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, he was Keanu Reeves' body double in Matrix.
Yeah.
So.
But he was mostly just doing the stuff that would hurt. But when it came to the fighting, it was always Reeves.
Oh, okay.
Because they wanted to keep him on camera as much
Yeah.
as actually possible. But like Stahelski, like they made a big deal when I saw Nemesis 2 that Stahelski was playing the villain in it, the big robot. And they're like, it's Chad Stahelski as Nebula. I was like, okay, well, I don't know who the fuck that is, but whatever.
Okay.
And then I remember when I saw the Matrix, especially the second Matrix, they really made a big deal that he was the one that was Keanu Reeves' stunt double in Matrix 3 and 4, or 2 and 3. And then he ended up being in Matrix 4.
Yeah, because he's the guy who's married to Trinity. Yeah.
And now he directs all the John Woo movies.
John Woo?
John Wick. Sorry,
Yeah.
John Wick. John Woo directs all the John Woo movies.
No, we so at work, we put the poster up for that. And I got really excited. I realized that thing's not coming out until March.
John Wick 4.
Yeah, like why did we put it up so early? Oh, and by the way, this is a construct that was made in the film. This was never in the goddamn book.
Oh, the whole
yeah.
the Crow thing?
Yeah. Because, I mean, and I realized why, because they had to give him a weakness. Because in the book...
Otherwise, it's no stakes.
Yeah, I mean, in the book, basically, it was just a straight-up fucking revenge fantasy. And that's the whole idea, too, is, like, a lot of people speculate that the book is basically just, it's not real, that a lot of it is what, as he's dying, what he imagines happens. That's like one takeaway from it. I mean, I don't necessarily feel that way. I mean, I'd rather actually him kill the people.
Well, the thing is, J.O. Barr actually co-wrote the screenplay for this, so I mean, he came up with all this shit.
Yeah,
because he knows. Like, that's what I always say. A lot of people give comic book movies crap because they don't mimic the comic books exactly. Some of these things just don't work out in a film compared to that kind of comic.
And as I said, like
the ending of Watchmen is something that I have no problem with in the movie because a giant squid attacking.
Well, that's the end of the movie.
Yep. They even do the little slow-mo pause.
But no, like so, I totally understand why they put it in there because he, like, as you said, like you need stakes.
Yeah,
and
he's just an invincible killing machine. Yeah. You know he's going to win no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you can actually get killed now, then you got some dramatic tension going on.
I mean, they could have tried to do like a different way but they do kind of do that by, attacking the people that he loves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could have gone after her.
Which they do.
Yeah. I mean, they do that. It's
and actually, the original thing too, I don't think it was going to be, because if there, it's another thing you can find online. It's like one of the few scenes they shot with the Skull Cowboy where he basically tells him, after they kidnap her or whatever, he goes, this isn't part of what we do. And he goes, because he's standing in front of the church telling him, you can't do this. You can't go in there and save her. That's not part of the deal.
It's
and he says, I'm going in there. And he goes, well, if you go in there, you go in alone. Or basically meaning you're going to be stripped of your power.
Yeah.
So I think that was the original idea. But then after he died, then they decide, and they cut out the Skull Cowboy. They went, okay, well, let's make it to where the Crow is the source of his power. Yeah.
Or the Crow just like looks over and goes, damn, I got shot. And like steals the power back, saying, no, I'm going to fix myself first. I'll get to you in a moment.
No, not cool, bro.
Because you got me shot.
Oh, she got some of that makeup rubbed off on her cheek. Demolished by neglect.
See, I never saw that until the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Oh, suspicious-looking black men in the neighborhood. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Gotta do the cart right.
Okay. Oh,
God. In a fancy hat. Now, I've got a poster of Brandon Lee, like, sitting like this in a chair, and it's actually here.
Yeah.
Like, the chair's in the background.
There was just a production photo that
it's a production photo, but it's a poster.
Setups.
Yeah. But this is another funny thing too that was mentioned. Because the scene's coming up. Whenever I was at that, when I was at the panel at C2E2 with Tony Todd and Ernie Hudson, where they talk about how apparently like Ernie Hudson has killed Tony Todd so many times in movies. Because usually it's like he's a cop and Tony Todd's like a drug dealer or something, or some sort of criminal.
Ernie Hudson's never been in a Star Trek show, but Tony Todd has. He's been in like I don't know how many fucking shows.
No. But no, it was just funny. It was just funny hearing like a genuine exchange between the two of them. He goes like, "How many fucking movies have you killed me?"
I think when it comes to Star Trek, Tony Todd's most famous for playing Worf's brother.
If he were any other man.
I'll kill you where you stand.
I love this.
Nerp.
I love this is great.
The joke, yeah.
Quick impression for you.
fuck them dead.
Love that. Shit's about to get real.
There can be only one.
Oh God!
I'm surprised he never played a Highlander villain.
Honestly, he probably should have.
Yep.
Probably been better than Bruce Payne.
Yeah.
Or even Mario Van Peebles.
I mean, he could have easily played one.
Well,
in,
this was
like,
roughly
television series.
Yeah.
And this was a year, I think, before the Highlander 3.
Yeah. The Final Dimension.
Yeah.
Stupid subtitle. The original subtitle wasn't that great either.
Well, yeah. What was it? It was like
The Sorcerer.
Yeah.
The only sequel that I can kind of sit through and not want to kill myself is the fourth one.
In game, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
because
It's the only one that kind of feels like it makes sense.
and it tied into the show that everybody loved. And let's be honest, Adrian Paul is a much better Highlander than Christopher Lambert. He actually aged more gracefully, and I believe, like, you know, it's one of those things when you see him do like the sword fighting and stuff. I believed him a little bit more than.
Well, the thing about Christophe Lambert is he's legally blind.
Yeah. Well, and
he wears, when you see him in public, he wears glasses that are so
Coke
thick.
Bottle, yeah.
They're like, it changes the size of his head, like when you look through them. Like his eyes are like in by his nose, like there's that close because it changes.
But no, and I don't know, just Adrian Paul had more of a debonair thing going for him than Christophe Lambert. But yeah, there he is. There he kills Tony Todd.
2 shots.
No, I was like Tony Todd seems like a guy who's like really funny as well. Like he seems to have a really good sense of humor.
He's still working he's been working for like 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's got he obviously has a good reputation, and he's actually a really good actor.
Yeah.
So is Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
I can bleed.
It looks like Olivia Munn.
Open this jar of pickles for me.
Oh, she still has the continuity. She still has the makeup.
Yeah.
Nice little. I didn't notice that until
High def, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's gross.
They're brother and sister, mind you.
You think they had different daddies?
Well, no, I think they had the same dad.
Oh, okay.
Because just because of the whole thing of like how he always talks about his father. He even says my father's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You winged me.
That sounds more like a sucking chest wound.
Yeah, you might have collapsed a lung.
Now, here's the thing. Why didn't he hand him the gun?
Yeah.
Well, did he? Well, it looked like it was like that, like it was back, like it was out of ammo. Hey, why don't you put that gun down? Maybe we can make more time.
Oh.
Or I could have my crow peck your eyes out.
Oh my God, Tippi Hedren. That's probably the nastiest thing in the whole movie right there.
Yep. Oh, she totally Batman henchman it.
Yep.
I was like, for an R-rated movie, that was probably the goriest thing there was, is that just that one shot of her.
Well, I mean, you got to think this is back in '94, so like even the topic of rape was like enough to get you an R rating.
Yeah. All right.
There's still the makeup on her cheek.
Mm-hmm.
There could only be one.
Yeah, right here.
Actually,
I remember saying that when I saw it in the theater. I was like, wow, this is just like the end of a Highlander movie.
I'm trying. Is it a samurai sword he has, or is it a double?
It's a katana.
Okay, because I couldn't tell if it was katana or if it had like a double.
The handle, the way it's weaved.
Because it almost like it had two edges on it.
Something wicked this one comes. Is he going to throw that at Pam Grier?
God, I'm imagining how heavy that is. Of like he misses long.
Yeah, that's going to take him off his feet.
Yeah,
that's a great shot.
Yeah.
They're both taking like major power shots against each other.
Yeah, they're going to tire themselves out so
terrible
quick.
swordsmanship.
Yeah. Alex, I mean, I remember watching this and going like, wow, Alex Proyas is a pretty good eye for some cool visuals and all that. Oh, I had no idea until he made Dark City what he had in mind when it comes to visuals. Holy shit. Every shot in that movie is a piece of art.
Well, have you ever seen, there's the thing, like one of the short films he did before, like one of his like first short films, it's all like stop motion, but it's like people. Like, I forget the name of it. Like that one, like tremendous visual. And I think he also kind of does like, it's kind of like how he did this, like where he had like the miniatures and them over it, you know, kind of like much like this. I forget the name of it. It was on that show on Sci-Fi Channel where they would show like the short films of directors. It was like back in the 90s. And I can't remember, or maybe even early 2000s. And I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of that show was, but it would. I remember like one they showed like his short films, and they were pretty good. It's called the Claws.
And it's making him like spit up blood and shit. How many people fall to their death in this movie?
Oh, he just fell on Goliath.
From Gladiators.
Yeah.
Look at that blood pour. God damn.
Or gargoyles.
That's David Keith.
Yeah.
Or Keith
David. David Keith is a completely different actor.
Yeah, that's the guy from Firestarter.
Yeah.
The good Firestarter.
Oh, you mean he's not Zac Efron?
No, don't even. I didn't even pay to watch that movie. I watched it on Peacock, and I felt like I was
You'd been ripped off.
I was owed money.
You wanted the time back, or at least to be paid for your time.
That movie was so awful.
See, I could have tortured you guys and like said, "Let's watch Eraserhead."
Oh, God.
Actually, I don't mind Eraserhead. I actually kind of like that. I like David Finch. So, what a wonderful movie I've made.
We've watched Dune.
Yeah, that's true.
We should try to get someone to watch Lost Highway
Or Blue Velvet.
Oh God,
Mommy,
Daddy want to fuck.
Baby wants to fuck. But anyhow, The Crow. And notice how like,
ooh, I'm slutty. Ooh, I'm slutty.
Well, it's one of the things too. Like, no, okay, his makeup kind of subtly goes away, but then it
because the rain.
Yeah, but
then it comes back.
Then it comes back. Yeah,
out of order.
Well, no, I don't want to think so much out of order. I mean, sequentially it works, but it's just like I think it's supposed to represent that it's him. Yeah, that it's him. That it's because look, then it's going to come back here as he's getting ready to be taken back.
He's going home.
It's kind of gone.
Yeah, but it's still you're starting to see the outline.
You can see the remnants of it.
Yeah, before it was like completely gone.
I mean, he didn't professionally put the makeup on, so like you could say that like it stained his skin a little bit, but the idea of like it goes away and it comes back and it goes away and it comes back, and it's like, I mean, he definitely didn't use professional grade like clown white. Because that stuff is grease, basically, and awful.
Well, he probably would have had it. I mean, just considering how much it rained, he probably would have needed grease paint for it to stay on.
It is. Oh man, I've worn clown white before, and it is awful. is a horrible experience. And I can only imagine how bad it was to like have to get that paint and makeup all back on over and over and over again.
Well, that shot where he drops himself off the roof and then like starts laughing when he after he lands, you can see the way it's the water is balling up on
beating
the makeup.
up, on it.
Yeah, it's like oil or grease
like
paste.
Makeup.
You get hot in that stuff. And
I'm a bird. I like shiny things.
I stole this for you. Caca.
You're thanking a bird, for Christ's sake.
You know who'd make a good crow? Edward Furlong.
No, we tried that. Well, no, honestly, like they keep trying to remake this movie.
There wasn't Aquaman going to play him at one point?
That was one of the worst fucking casting ever.
He backed out because he was superstitious about it, apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, he shouldn't be some big bulky guy. He should be some ordinary Joe.
Honestly, which
is what I think they got right in the sequels. Whenever they were casting the person, they never looked like someone who would be an actor.
Yeah. Well, no, because I mean, you think Spider-Man build. Like it's like the sort of like athletic. Well, and that was actually one of the main reasons why Brandon Lee got the role. Like one, he loved the source material. Like, he was a huge fan of the book. And two, it's like the filmmakers wanted him because they're like, okay, he's athletic and he can do the demands that this role requires. I mean, honestly, like when I heard that they were trying, I don't know if it's still happening, but I know was it Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, that's what they did.
And I'm like, I could kind of see that, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what?
Don't remake it.
Just let this guy have his fucking moment.
Yeah,
because this was his. I mean, this was literally like his.
Yeah, this was going to be his breakout movie.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, and
just like his
I loved him in Little Tokyo.
Yeah, and as I said before, earlier in the podcast when we started recording, think about how many roles. Think about anything that Keanu Reeves has been in, anything that Johnny Depp has been in. This fucker would have been up for those roles. I
don't know if I can see Brendan Lee playing Captain Jackson.
Well, no. But it's just like, but no, I mean, he could have, so. But no, like I said, like the fact that Neo was written for him, was written for Brandon Lee. And I definitely, like John Wick, I think I could totally see Brandon Lee playing. And even, even like, think of like Fight Club. Mm-hmm. He could have been Tyler Durden. It's like, because these were his contemporary. Well, and that was kind of the thing where they talked about, like, one of Brandon Lee's best friends was George Clooney. Like, they played basketball together and stuff. So, like, all those people, like, any one of those people, like, think about roles that they are in and, like, roles that kind of, like, in, like, the 90s and early aughts that, like, kind of launched them. And insert Brandon Lee in there, because he would have been in the running for those characters. Excuse me. But yeah, it's sad and it's tragic, and I feel it's a disservice for them to try to remake this movie.
Which is when it came to the sequels, which is a good thing that they weren't trying to continue the story.
Yeah,
and they were just doing different characters that this kind of situation was happening to. And it sounded like when it came to the second one that they were going in a completely different direction with it, but then Harvey Scissorhands got in there and fucked it up for everybody and reshot half of it.
And then he masturbated into a potted plant.
Probably.
And then ruined Mira Sorvino's career. She's difficult because she wouldn't have sex with me.
Oh God. Same with Uma Thurman, I think.
Yeah. Well, was that?
It didn't hurt because she went to a different studio and started making movies at different studios. Yeah,
but no, like with Sorvino, he really fucked her career over. Like it wasn't until just recently.
The same thing with Hitchcock and Tippi Hedren.
Yeah.
But anyway, Crow.
Yeah, final thoughts on Crow, anybody?
I think it's still an awesome movie.
I mean,
I think this will ever not be a great movie.
It's kind of like a nod to like Shakespearean, where it's like technically kind of like Romeo and Juliet a little bit.
Well, I think you were even saying before
like a tangent way off of it and stuff. And
well, you were even saying before we recorded about how they're represented of like
Yeah.
the seven deadly sins.
So
right?
yeah, that's one of the fan theories, is that all of the villains are based off of the seven deadly sins. Skank being sloth because he's too lazy to think for himself, which is a very good off the beaten path kind of representation of it. Fun Boy is obvious gluttony because he's into the drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
1010 is wrath. You can see that in the fight
because he's just violent. Yeah.
Yeah. T-Bird is pride because his road name was his favorite car.
Yeah.
And he had so much pride in that car. Gideon is obviously greed because greed gets him killed. Grange, it's a little bit subtle, but I think that he's supposed to be envy, just because he envies Top Dollar and his position and his power. But he's the second in command, and so he doesn't have it. But he's always waiting for Top Dollar to fuck up and then take over.
And then move in. Yeah.
And then Top Dollar's obviously lust, which is super gross because it's with his half sister.
Yeah.
Which even dehumanizes and vilifies him even more.
Yeah.
Like they did a really good job of dehumanizing all of the villains.
Yeah.
Fight choreography by Brandon Lee and Jeff Amato.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, it was Jeff Amato was
Chad Stahelski stunts.
Yep. So yeah,
I've got to figure out who that my teacher for those college courses was. I got to go look up his name again and just see, like, because I know he's done stunt stuff for movies and stuff, and like, I mean, we did like swashbuckling stuff, all kinds of crap, and we had to do a choreography, like just a full-on choreography fight with 2 epes and like just like wide swings, jumps, and ducks, and all this other stuff. Yeah. And I mean, it's like all the 3/4 view, where like 3/4 of the view, it all looks real, but there's 1/4 of that view where if you could see it, you would know that we are nowhere close to each other with these like big fake swords.
Yeah. You know, well, and it's always like was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You know, so because I took Sitch Combat, and it's like, I remember,
and like the physical part of it, which was, you know, how to drag someone by their hair and that kind of stuff. That was fun too, because like you just do the claw into their top of their head, and they grab on, and they're pulling themselves.
Or when you punch somebody in the gut, how it's mainly just sort of like
and you have to do the nap yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to like tighten up your stomach. A lot of times, like you can have if you have like a paperback book or something there, about how it's just kind of like
we were taught to like just slap our offhand. We'd slap it on our thigh, like really loud, like cup it a little bit, and then just smack, you know, as we're hitting, because we know the timing. You know, the person off stage didn't know the timing.
Yeah, because the thing that we always thought was just like, well, one, you'd have your hand like this. You wouldn't have a fist. You'd have it like you know, because it'd be the audience, so it looks like a fist because they're just seeing this part. You have it flat as you can possibly make it. The other person tightens up their stomach, and then you just go like that.
See, we never even contacted.
Yeah.
It was always like a whiff and like barely contacting the clothing and stuff.
Anyway,
The Crow. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies I have watched constantly. A huge influence on Ashes. This was a huge movie for me because I remember always being kind of like a shy, nerdy kid whenever, you know, kind of bullied kid whenever I first watched this. And then after I watched this, it was kind of gave me some self-confidence that I didn't have before. So I'm like, oh yeah, this guy got bullied. And I mean, granted, I didn't go as extreme. I didn't go as extreme on his bullies as but like, you know, I started standing up for myself.
Yeah,
I stopped getting bullied when I started playing drums, and I was constantly carrying DC-10 drumsticks with me, and those are like that thick around. So like someone would say something stupid and I would just like pull out the sticks and just like look at them funny. Like, you realize I can like carry weapons with me around in the school and not get in trouble, right?
Dust head.
Definitely check out the D&D game. Check me out if you want to, if you like nerdy video game stuff. I try to help people as much as I possibly can to take all of the fear out of collecting and all of this nerdy stuff. I want more. I want more people to come in and enjoy everything that we're enjoying. The movies, the music, the D&D game, the video games, everything nerd culture. Please come in and try to enjoy.
Hell yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us and thank you for picking The Crow. And for those of you listening, thank you for tuning in. And remember, if you like what it is that we do here, please remember to like, subscribe, and most importantly, what should they do?
Share like a worm on a big fucking hook.
Yeah, there we go. Share like a worm, like a big fucking hook. Your mother must be goddamn proud of you.
Call, bang, fuck, I'm dead.